All right. Well, some some old boyo made a big mistake today because a man from Scotland, he was telling me that, and his mother's from Ulster. He was telling me that my accent, my Ulster accent, was pretty good actually. So I did a video where I spoke in an Ulster accent, or I tried to kind of half-ass it at least and butchered it a bit, like, but he was saying it was good. So he might have been polite, it might have been being polite, but either way, I'm taking it as a license to put out another one and butcher the accent, put the final nail in the coffin of this accent here. You know, I mean, I'm not born in Ulster, sure, but I'm Ulster through and through. So I am, you know, um, I'm an Ulster man. Rowan Campbell Miller, you know, um, roots in roots in County County Antrim, County Londonderry, and Donegal, and you know, read a lot about Ulster, like, and I spent a wee bit of time there. Um, well, a couple of weeks, like, what, 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, maybe maybe a little bit over 3 weeks in East Belfast in about 2000 and 2007, about there. 2008 and 8. It's the vowels, like, if you like the vowels of Ulsterman, of an Ulsterman, of a Scotsman. It's, I don't know, like Samuel Johnson said, anybody can master the Scottish dialect, um but a bit skeptical because, like, even for myself, even being a bit familiar, watching BBC Radio Ulster, um spending time in Northern Ireland, spending time in Scotland. I spent like a couple of weeks in Scotland as well, just tripping around. Edinburgh, Edinburgh and Glasgow. So probably, I don't know if this is the exact authentic pronunciation of everything, but popped up to around about Aberdeen, went to Findhorn, uh, you know, had a wee stroll in the Scots Pine, out among the moss in the misty north. It's a very idyllic setting. So it is. Aye, so but I had a girlfriend, like, in Ulster, like in Belfast. Um, I was there about 3 weeks, as I said, and met a girl, gorgeous girl. Like, I don't know, hope she's all right now. Uh, but not spoken for a wee while. I think she got married, and I think the husband was like kicked me off the friends list, like, because he knew, like, we were very close, and like we still care about each other, I'm sure. But anyway, hope she's well. Filipino girl, like, she moved to Ulster from Saudi Arabia, but like she's Filipino, strong East Belfast accent, and aye, lovely girl. But actually met her on the way there. Like, I was on my way there, like, I knew I was planning out the trip. So I started, this is back in the day, like, I think this was back in the day of like still AOL chat rooms. Was that, or was it like MySpace? I don't know. Like I don't know. I think it was AOL chat rooms or AOL like member directory. Like I the days of going around AOL member directory trying to uh you know shoot my shot to some poor girl, and one of them was her. Because I figured I'm going over there, like, might as well try to make some connections, and who knows, might meet the girl of my dreams. Sure, it's probably not going to happen because I have an Asian fetish and I'm going to the whitest place in Europe, but no, I don't know how that happened, like, but strange thing. Started talking to her, yeah, I through AOL instant message AIM something. I think that was it. And then we met up. Actually, I met the person I stayed with over there. Like the house I stayed in. It was a like an Ulster man's house that I think he may have grown up in. Like, but he was an actor. He was an actor and a teacher at the Royal Institution. I think it's at the Royal Institution. Not sure, but or maybe Belfast Institution. It's called Inst, I believe now, or that's popularly referred to as Inst. I think it was actually founded, by the Presbyterians, radicals, like back in, like I think it was founded by William Drennan actually, who was like the founder of the United Irishmen. Was inspired by what's it inspired by the Scottish Enlightenment. He went to like most Ulstermen, that if they went to college, um, in the 1700s, 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, if they went to college, like chances are, especially if they're a Presbyterian, like they're going to go to Scotland. They're if they're Episcopalian, like they're going to probably go to um Trinity College Dublin, or like uh some sort of Oxbridge type situation, like, but for the Presbyterians, that's kind of like central to what the Ulster Scots are, like, because it was the Presbyterian church. Even though the Scots went to Ulster, they were there like before Presbyterianism as such was a thing. um and I mean, the Irish themselves were known as Scots originally, and what we now called Scotland was then called like Scotia Minor. So like it's all changed about, of course, but what's going on there? Shit. Bloody hell. um that's probably English, like, anyway. That's one thing though, if you'll notice, I'm not just being weird. I mean, I'm being weird obviously, but when I say like at the end of the sentence, like that, sure, when I like me myself, for the most part, honestly, I'm Californian, two Californian, so most of the time I do say like a lot, but I usually will say it like in the middle or like at the beginning of a sentence. But for an Ulster man, for Ulster folks, Ulsterites, they put it at the end. You know, it's a bit similar even to the emphasis and the lilting, where the sometimes the tonality or something of a statement will be almost directly reversed from what it would be maybe for standard English, or American English. So in the same way, they put that at the end, put a lot of things at the end of a sentence, like um, so they put like and so it is. That's very common. Um, so yeah, I mean it might be near universal. But yeah, that's don't know about yeah, yeah. I'm not sure what is the Ulster way to say yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's a very ubiquitous Ulsterism, so it is. And what else? Everything's we, you know, weans, like kids are weans. And sorry, I'm walking around a bit. I don't know where I am. Don't know who I am. Don't know how to talk like. But anyway, I say we a lot. So yeah, like kids are weans. And um Ulster itself, like a lot of people, like yeah, Ulster Scots, if they're unionists, which vast majority would be, um they would tend to call, or a very common of Northern Ireland is our wee country, our wee country. So um we is like, I don't know, it's like there's a tendency to just call things we. I mean, obviously it is a wee country. It's like uh I mean, it's not as wee. Well, I don't know how it compares to like Wales or Isle of Man or Cornwall or something like, but yeah, it's a wee country. Like but they'll throw like the word we, they'll tack on to things that aren't like even we, like because just I don't know, it's just something like they just throw it in a lot. Like there's things they say, oh, we this and we that, and a lot of times no, it's not we, it's just a thing they say. Like, so that's interesting. What else do they say? Well, like one of the thing with the vowels. uh I can't say vowels, something like that. But when they say a, like the long a sound, it's a bit different from like let's say the I, or like the, what is it, the short I, like did, right? Did, kid. Generally, that's this just uh directly the same as the Scottish pronunciation. They just say kid, or dead kid. It's like, as for whatever reason, that's just the pronunciation. Um, they pronounce six as sex. It's kind of awkward at times. Also, they might come up to you and be like, um, "How are you doing, mate? Where's the crack? Or what's the crack?" And they say like, "Bite you, mate. What's the crack?" And then like you might be scared, like you might think um they want to bite your meat and they gave you some crack to smoke, like Biden crack, Hunter Biden crack, Joe Biden presidential crack pipe crack. But sure, it's totally different thing. Like I mean, they might have some crack too, but more likely they're talking about talk. Like sure, that's the way. It's the word for talk, crack. Craic, used in Scotland, used in Ulster. I believe used in Ireland as well, in the Republic as well. So and they say bite you mate. That's like they're saying how's about you is another roundabout way to say like how are you. So then when they say that and they come up to you like that and they give you like the secret Ulster handshake and they say bite your mate, bite your mate, and what's the crack? You just gotta punch them right in the bollocks. That's what you do. It's an old Ulster greeting, and you won't go wrong. All right, and what else? What else do they say? Um, there, there, like that's why because they came over, we came over, or like my ancestors came over, and thousands, believe 250,000 at least, between 1700 and 1776. So, very influential, uh, left a strong mark on the dialect of Appalachia. They still have the same pronunciation of the R, like the hard R pronunciation. Um, of course, there's words that we famously know why they pronounce different from that in Appalachia is pronounced different from the English where they don't pronounce the R, um, which of course has taken on different connotations. But at the end of the day, um, America's been much of a shite show. Like, I mean, came here for freedom. We came here for liberty, came here for a chance at just, decent existence, just to like have a farm, grow some food, and, you know, have our own opinions and govern ourselves and have, with as little government as we might want. But, sure, it wasn't to be. Like, I mean, at least where we are now, it's nothing of the kind. Like, it's surely like quite the opposite, you know. But that's the same everywhere. So it is. It chased us. Like, we were exiles from Europe, and Europe and its elites, its the royals, you know, the House of Stuart, um, and just in general, like the landed gentry and the nobility and the ruling class, they were against us, and we just wanted to, live free, live like a simple life, not dominate, but not be dominated. That's, was too much of an ask. And we were basically exiled from Scotland to Ulster and from Ulster to America. And like now where the fuck, where do we go from here? Like, all right, Antarctica folks, get on. No, that's probably what they'd want. Have us do the whole same thing again, just in our Antarctica, and be like, "Hey, we're free," and then the bankers come, and then we're a tax farm, or whatever. Like, uh, gotta wonder like what they're doing down there. Heard there's a lot of activity, a lot of military, U.S., maybe NATO activity in Antarctica. Yeah, the fuckers. They're probably looting all the ancient stuff, because I'm sure the ancients went there. Like I know the Egyptians had mapped Antarctica during the Chalcolithic period, so like um, so almost without a doubt there was people there. There was probably people that lived there. Um, so what else? Think of some other Ulsterisms. I say like I wasn't I wasn't born in a I didn't come up the foil in a bubble. Like that's like the river. There's Londonderry, the two main cities, the two main fuck. It's like a lot of times I can do like one word and I can make it sound the way I think it should sound, but I can't fucking put it together with another word and then clangs like. But anyway, the two main cities in Ulster are Londonderry slash Derry, um, and Belfast. And Londonderry slash Derry, it's also known as Stroke City because um, it's they call there like a slash, like I say Londonderry slash Derry, because those are the two names for it depending which community you're from, and etc. So but they call a slash a stroke, so they say Londonderry stroke Derry. So um so they call it Stroke City for that reason. It's a bit ominous. Like, I don't know. What if you had a stroke there and you're like, I'm in Stroke City? I don't know. But sure, it's not really that common. Like that's more I think, what was it, Stephen Nolan, or I don't know. Or no, one of the guys on BBC Radio Ulster had a show out of Derry, and I mean, the thing is, like, even like here's the thing: if the nationalists, the Irish nationalists, the Irish Republicans, you know, Sinn Féin, IRA, they'll never call it Londonderry. They're offended by the name Londonderry. Protestants will often call it Londonderry, because that's like more of like a modern name of it. And it was the name of it that when it was under siege in the very, kind of iconic, heroic, historic siege of Derry. But even there, you're like, no, it was called Derry much of the time. But I think it's because of the attempt by the Irish to change the name back to um, just to Derry and remove the London that was added by London. There was a lot of Londoners actually that were involved in the plantation of Ulster. A lot of the undertakers, as they were called, like the land owners, or the planters. A lot of them were merchants in London, and so they named it Londonderry, but it was still generally called, or often called, Derry. And I think for the most part, like, people in Derry, or people in London, people in Stroke City or slash City or whatever it is, like, they tend to call it Derry, and it's just what it is. Like, it says Londonderry like on official stuff, but it's a lot of syllables, like, so they just call it Derry. Um, and but you certainly know, like, if somebody does call it Londonderry, then like which which foot they dig with, or whatever, like, which side of the community they're from. And so yeah, Derry, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm trying to say yeah, but I'm not sure what an Ulster yeah sounds like. Yeah, yeah. Who knows? Maybe they don't say yeah. It's not. Maybe it's not in the lexicon. I think probably is though. So you might wonder, like, who is an Ulster-Scot? I never heard of these people. Like, are they even real? Is this just some other shit this kid is fucking coming up with? This crazy fuck. And tell you the truth, I'm not even sure myself at at this time. Like, but um, no, they're real. Like, I'll tell you some Ulster Scots. I might sound a bit like I'm the Ulster-Scot ambassador, but fuck it, I am. If nobody else is, I will do it. Um, you know, shit. I mean, people don't even know like that we exist. Like they don't know. They never heard of it. They heard of the Scots. Like they heard of Scotland, heard of Ireland, but the Ulster Scots, people don't know who we are. Only in like when Ulster's in the news and they say, oh, like there's the Protestants there, and so then they're just the Irish Protestants or the Northern Irish Protestants or the Belfast Protestants, whatever it is. But everything is framed through that constitutional question over the last, certainly century and a half. I mean, maybe forever, like in Ireland, but yeah, maybe since the 1700s, that everything is framed around constitutional questions and sectarian questions, and so there's very little chance to, especially through politics, to see the fullness of the people and the community and the culture. you know um the Orangemen, that's something that there are a lot of Ulster Scots who are Orangemen. um and there are also a lot of Anglo-Irish or Anglo-Ulster, what would that be, Ulster English, you could say, who are Orangemen. But um like for that reason, because it is such a shared Protestant thing, and also because of the very mixed history of it, I don't think of it as like the emblematic thing the way it's often treated as the emblematic thing of the Ulster Scots. But it's really, I mean, it is an emblematic thing of a segment of Ulster Protestants, absolutely. And certainly Ulster Scots have been involved in it, you know, alongside the Episcopalians and the English, whatever. But where, as opposed to uh, the Irish republicanism, Irish nationalism, like the first, the United Irishmen, the first Irish Republican Nationalist Society was 100% Presbyterian, basically all Ulster Scots. So that to me is more the real, it was based on the politics of the US, of the American Revolution, um, and a lot of when the Irish, when the Ulster Scots rose up against the Crown and against Britain in 1798 and were put down pretty thoroughly and exiled in vast numbers, um, to all corners of the globe, um, especially uh, Britain, America, Europe, and probably maybe Australia, I'm not sure. And then, the Orangemen had come in as partly a reaction against